Okay, I think we need to talk. Hi. Um, I've been getting a few emails, and it's been from a lot of transgender girls and guys, actually. And I wouldn't say a lot, maybe like about five. And there seems to be a common misconception that you're not doing enough, that everything you're going through and you've already gone through, as if it's not enough for you, as if it's something that you need to have done better, or that you need to have put more effort into, or that you decided one day you're going to be a man or a woman. It's none of those things. I apologize for the delay. I'm trying to get all the words combined together, and I don't like being in front of the camera. Okay, so there are people in their 60s and 70s, 30s, and 40s that are transitioning, and they're on hormones. They have tracheal shaves. I haven't shaved mine. I've been going to laser hair removal for about 3 years now, since about 2017. Going on, yeah, now we're going on 2020. And if you look real close, it's still there. I've listened to subliminals repeatedly. I make my own, obviously. And I still feel like, it's not enough. Like everything I've gone through, it's still like I still look like this. I still gotta get rid of the facial hair. Really? That's like $100 a month for almost 36 months. Do you know why it keeps coming back? Do you know why your body and the way you look or feel that you're dysphoric towards it? It's way more than, being in different lighting where the shadowing hits your face weird, or just some facial hair, or even like an energetic difference. It's so much more than that. You within yourself, before you can ever look in the mirror and say, freaking, I'm a freaking woman and I'm proud of it, or hey, I'm a man and I'm proud of it. Whichever one, or hey, I'm gender fluid and I'm proud of it, or I'm whatever, mutant and proud. Whatever it is, you have to know it inside you first. Like, you have to really accept what you already are. And I don't mean accept it and settle. I mean, when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look very manly today, or oh, I look very womany, or the makeup looks weird. Like, I go through all this shit every day, and I barely ever put any makeup on other than like eyeliner, mascara, and maybe some tinted lip gloss. But really, when I look in the mirror, like most of you, I don't see the gender that I feel like I am. I don't feel any of them. I feel like a complete swish swash. One day it's, masculine, one day it's feminine. So when you're looking in the mirror and you're being really, really difficult on yourself, or even when you're not looking in the mirror, you're just wandering around and living your life, and you keep thinking, oh, do these people think I'm a woman? Do these people think I'm a man? Or, what if they find out? What if this? No, just stop with all that. Are you a man or are you a woman? Regardless of what your body is telling you. If you were deaf, dumb, blind, mute, all of these things, like your senses were completely taken away and all you had was the feeling inside you, do you feel like a man or a woman? And if you can't really tell and it's a percentage on either side, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. There is no set standard. Just because the reproductive systems are different doesn't mean the energy you associated with those reproductive systems since you were born here, it doesn't mean that that's right. Because your mother gave you a view of it, your father gave you a view, the world gave you this imprint, it doesn't mean that that's what it actually is. So the traits you assume, the energetic feeling that you assume with being a man, isn't the same as it is for someone else. You with me? I hope so, because I don't even know where on this camera I'm looking at. I think I'm looking at the right spot. Anyway, the feeling you associate with being a woman isn't really what a woman is. Do you want to know why? Each and every person is unique. Each and every single living being that is expressing itself, male, female, or somewhere in between, or both, is different than you. Just because some 20-year-old transgender girl or 30-year-old transgender man or whatever is making it look so easy, it's really not. Because you're not only physically altering all of the bodily structures, which is a lot of energy to use, a lot of conscious thought and focus to use to change your body, okay? And if your consciousness isn't evolved enough to be able to, excuse the pun, turn water to wine, you're gonna have a little tricky time changing a flat chest to a breast or chest for breasts. Your things have to change. You have to be consciously ready to acknowledge both sides of your energy and to find the middle ground in there, and then to be able to distinguish both like water and oil, and then to know how to combine them so they don't just sit on top of each other, but they merge. Okay? So just because you feel like you're so manny or that you're so womany or you're too feminine to be a man, you'll never pass as a, female to male transgender person. You already do. Or, if you're male to female or whatever and you're like, oh, I'm never going to look enough like a woman. I'm never going to be this or that. It's actually the energy you're carrying and how you're carrying yourself and how you're, geez, why my hair is itching? And how you're, it's so ridiculous to try to explain this to you in YouTube videos. In 1980 and 1990, do you know what I was doing? In the early 2000s, I was out screwing up my life. Completely. I was out there drinking, smoking, doing all sorts of drugs. I was a lot of fun. Okay? I wasn't sitting there going through books after books, except if it was on the Amazon culture and matriarchy and the masculine culture. I was studying a whole bunch of stuff. Can you tell I keep trying to swear and I'm like keeping myself back? I wasn't digging my life into a rut for gender. I didn't know about like, oh, you can change your gender, you can do this or that. I saw a lot of drag queens, I saw a lot of transgender people. To me, it was just like something completely oblivious. Like someone coming up to me and saying, oh, there's aliens on, the moon. And I would have been like, oh yeah, that's cool. But how about this drink? It tastes great, And it took me till I was around 36, like 3 years ago. Well, whatever, 2 years ago. And when, like, that's a long story, I don't want to get into it, but I was unaware of this whole process. I lived my life as what I knew inside me wasn't male or female. I didn't know how to gender it. People just looked at me as a feminine man. So I thought I was a feminine man. But inside, like deep down inside, the masculine aspect of me was a armor piece. It was like, a guide, a cutout. And when I look in the mirror and late, like now, since then, and I still see that man. And then when I'm putting on makeup or I'm getting dressed, sometimes I feel like that man wearing different clothing and makeup, and I feel ridiculous. And then I remember I'm imbalanced in the energy. I wasn't dressing the woman in me. I wasn't dressing the female energy or any of those things. I was trying to change the man into something. Get it? But when I'm dressed, when I feel like myself, when I don't have a need for armor, when I feel vulnerable, calm, in my little boxy place that I am for you right now, I feel like me. Like I'm. This keeps falling because I ripped the crap out of it. So I'm not trying to be slutty or anything for you, but I went to the store, I came back today, and I felt like a dude wearing women's clothing. And then when I was sitting there thinking, why do I feel this way? And I asked that masculine side of me, what do you want? I came up with a lot of I saw a lot within myself that I'm, fear based mentalities, from safety to, vanity to worthiness. And make peace with it. Your masculine side isn't your enemy, but it's gonna be your enemy if you keep trying to dress it up in women's clothing. Your feminine side is gonna make you completely subservient to it and ruin your entire life if you decide to, ignore that side. When a few weeks ago, when I had that thing with the masculine and feminine energy being different, which has nothing to do with gender, by the way, yet the whole thing was made known to me that I saw it from the inside out of my body. In here is where you are, kind of, okay? So you're trying to get this aligned with the root chakras, whatever, your energy center, so that when you get to here, it can expand and come out this way, and then you express what you are. But if you're not here and here, like if they're not aligned, this is going to look different. So then you put on the armor and you're like, I'm just going to put on the armor and I'm going to be a dude, and I'm going to put on the armor, or I'm going to be a woman because it's comfortable and it's safe. You have to switch that. You have to give your masculine side what it needs, which is usually sharp edges, lines, sleekness, strength, kind of, not macho strength, but this sense of confident power within yourself. This leadership warrior, warrior, goddess energy. It really bothers me when I try to explain things to you in modern society terms. So I'm going to go back to the old ways from now on and explain things to you in a real way. No man and no woman throughout history is born or was born. How do I put this so I don't get weird comments about this? You're not born incomplete. Those people that aren't gender dysphoric, whatever, they have other lessons to learn. They already established this for now, and then they get to establish other things and learn about other things and grow. You cannot measure your progress as a transgender man or woman that is transitioning from male gender or female to the opposite. You can't compare your efforts of what you've done to birth your new self based on the efforts of someone already born with that. They are learning other lessons in life while you are learning different aspects of lessons. So you start out with this whole gender thing in your childhood and you're like, I don't feel right. Well, how much has that taught you about knowing who you are, about knowing what you like, about knowing the right thing from the wrong thing, about your moral compass and your sense of compassion towards yourself, to find the beauty within you for you, not for what people put on you or for makeup or for clothes or any of that shit, or how much you listen to a subliminal and why your results aren't here, or this person will only love me if I'm a boy or a girl. Like, fuck that, all of it. Bye. Just bye. Are you a man or a woman? Which one? And if you're both, do like the freaking Amazons did and be a badass woman warrior. That way your masculine side gets to express itself with strength and leadership, and even a mother can be a warrior. They're the toughest ones I've ever known. And a man can be soft and sensual and sexy and passionate and caressing and attentive and nurturing, and it's some of the sexiest men in the world who know how to touch, how to feel, how to provide and be nurturers. God almighty, is it a good man that can be the mother of the house? Like, you don't know. You've never had a very feminine husband, have you? I did. He was amazing. Really? Have you ever had a really macho husband? Where the energy is really masculine and leadership and go, 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 and it's just constant imbalance of feminine, and the entire time you're like, why doesn't he write me love notes? Why doesn't he bring me flowers? Oh my god. You don't want that. And you don't want a woman who's constantly crying over you and depressed and emo, and she's just wailing songs of the sirens of the sea. And I've been there. Like, it drives me crazy. It really does. You want a powerful person that is in between genders for themselves, right? You want somebody who's balanced and masculine and feminine. You want somebody who is nurturing and kind and honest and all these things, right? Why don't you want that for you? Why don't you be all those things? Why don't you be that badass Amazonian warrior goddess, or embody the full femininity of Aphrodite, embody the gender fluidity of Mithra, or pick an archetype, be a macho Zeus dude, but you can. You can be the mischievous Loki. Is it a male or a female? Who knows? It's pretty. You can do whatever the fudge you want. Just stop comparing yourself to other people, because it'll drive you nuts. Like, I've been driving myself bonkers because I keep looking at myself and I'm like, oh, I look so masculine today. And then I realize it's just the energy. I feel masculine. So what am I going to do? Soften things up. Be the girlfriend to your own energy of masculine, and be boyfriend to your own energy of feminine. You can do that. Like, when you're feeling macho and you're like, oh, my beard's growing, or my boobs aren't big enough, or whatever, act like a girlfriend to yourself. Take care of yourself. If you're feeling really feminine, and you're just being really moody and depressed, and you're like wanting things but you don't want things, you're craving things but you're not, you're like, I'm gonna destroy, I'm gonna start eating planets, but then you're like, no, put on your armor, put on your warrior outfit, go out and run, go for a jog, climb a tree, do some gardening, do something other than just writing, write affirmations and subliminals. Like, that shit is, if you're not actually living your life and feeling it, it's gonna take you a shit ton of time to really convince yourself that you are something that you're not even willing to feel. So I can sit there for 10 years being like, I got 34, triple D boobs. And if I'm not massaging my breasts, if I'm not, feeling like I have them, if I'm not grateful for them and knowing that they can provide nurture and nutrition and all these things, then it's never going to happen at all. Because I'm barely paying any attention to it. I'm not putting information, energy, light, power into the breast. So if I'm casting a spell, if I'm doing some magic thing, I'm writing the spell out of what it is that I want, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever reproductive system, what the fuck have you. But then I'm sitting there and I'm just like writing it over and over. Are you punishing yourself like a kid in grade school writing on a chalkboard? If you're sitting there saying mantras or chanting or listening to hypnosis videos, what are you doing to yourself? Like, stop it. Just don't. Instead, ask yourself, do I really want this? What do I feel comfortable in clothes-wise? Because first, if you're not comfortable even at home by yourself in PJs, nothing is going to help fix that for you, because it's an energetic structure, like an exoskeleton of energy on you, which prevents your energy flow from coming out of you unobstructed. That obstruction, that structure, that exoskeleton of energy, that crystallized stuff is what you're trying to break through. And whenever it gets too heavy, like a caterpillar coming out of the cocoon as a butterfly, you're like, I'm just going to stay in the cocoon. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's okay for a certain amount of time, but eventually you're going to have to get your ass out of that cocoon. And I know, like, it's taken me years to even be in front of the camera comfortably, and I'm still dealing with it. Just today, I've been, like, transitioning for 3 years almost, like, with varying degrees of medication because of doctors. But I don't feel like I'm transitioning. I feel like I'm a woman that has self-esteem issues. I don't feel like a man that has been, that has self-esteem issues. I feel like a true, flat-out female with self-esteem issues and a hormone imbalance. That's my baseline. Like, I don't make myself think like, oh, I can't have a baby because I have a penis. No, or I can't have a baby because I'm a male. No, I can't contain a baby because my genitals are different than a person that can have a baby. I don't make that a different gender than me. I'm still a woman. It's just I'm not the kind of woman that was designed to hold the baby. I'm the kind of woman that's designed to help the baby grow. Get it? And if you're a female going to male, you're not, a woman trying to grow a dick or trying to have surgery for a dick. You're a man that has been born with the capacity to have a child. Change the way you look at things. And then the things looking back at you like your own reflection will change. If you keep thinking you're transitioning, you're going to be stuck in transition land forever. You're not transitioning. You never were. You're just trying to get the outside to match the inside. And it'll be a lot easier if you actually know what it is you're looking at on the inside. And for that, you really need to find that answer for yourself. No one's going to be able to tell you. Ever. It's not something anybody can tell you or teach you or point you in the right direction. Like, no, it's you. It's your gender. It's your love life. It's your everything. And one aspect of you, the life you would have lived as a man, are you ready to let it go? I was talking to one of the subscribers about this a few weeks ago. Have you let your male side have its peace? If you're really just going to do this in the full-on surgeries and stuff, you do realize that male side is going to be with you regardless, right? Have you given it its peace? Have you given that part of you an expression outward? You can take your balls off, you can take your dick off, you can take, your boobs off, but you can't get rid of the male or female energy in you. Have you found a way to make peace with it? I mean, really. It's so much more than just loving yourself or, self-care and all that shit. Like, just you. Lily's moving, so if this thing shakes, you might see her tail. Lily, come on. Well, come on. That's my scrunchie. That was my scrunchie. If you knock that cup over, I swear. Lily, get over here. I would so move this camera for you, but by the time I move it, she'll run. Shoo. Thank you. Oh my god, it's hot in this apartment. Quit making so much heat, cat. Okay, I'm gonna go turn the air conditioner on. Do yourself a favor. If you can't look at yourself for who you are, no matter the age, no matter the hormones you've taken, no matter anything, if you can't be comfortable taking your hair all the way back, looking at yourself with just your face, okay? Are you a man or a woman? Are you a goddess or are you a god? And if you're both, how does that look for you? Oh, I got a hair in my ear. How does being you look to you? Not to me. I'm a different woman than you are. I can swap and go be a man in 5 minutes. People do this all the time. People dress up in drag. People costume. People shapeshift. Magic exists. What did I just do? Get up there. What does you being as a woman look like to you? Not to me, not to them. Are you a woman with a beard? Are you a woman with a mohawk that's growing out and looking really uncomfortable? Are you a boy with a bowl cut? Like, what are you? That's a cat. She knows she's a cat. She has no problem with her vanity. Silence, cat. Do you want to come up? Then why are you meowing? Do you just want attention? Okay. What do you look like to you? Not to me, not to anybody else. What do you look like to you? I'm gonna go. This thing's being annoying.